Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me. I'm Linda Miller from Ulm University, and this presentation is titled Empowering Calibrated Distrust in Conversational Agents, a user study on the persuasive power of limitation disclaimers versus authoritative style. Today, we'll delve into the world of large language models, or LLMs, and examine how users' trust is shaped by different types of prior information and communication styles. In our digital landscape, LLMs like Gemini and ChatGPT have emerged as powerful tools capable of transforming numerous domains. These models are trained on a vast amount of data to process natural language. This allows them to engage what appears to be human-like dialogue. Widely accessible to the general public, they have quickly garnered a growing user base and have been rapidly integrated into various domains. They perform tasks that compete with human performance and can interact with users in a natural conversation. Yet, there's a pressing concern overshadowing their potential: the occasional generation of unreliable information. On November 18, 2022, Meta disabled the public demo of its Galactica LLM designed for the processing of scientific knowledge after just 3 days online, in which it was heavily criticized for making up technical explanations, academic papers, and citations which sounded plausible, but in many cases were non-existent or factually incorrect. Similar, within a week after ChatGPT's initial release, Stack Overflow banned the use of generative AI due to an influx of seemingly coherent but incorrect answers, which substantially harmed the site's functionality. Several weeks later, the media website CNET paused AI-generated content after having had to issue corrections for 41 out of 77 previously published articles, which were belatedly found to contain factual errors. These examples serve to highlight that LLMs can be prone to generate misinformation, which, however, can be hard to identify because the mere formal quality of generated text can be mistaken for factual accuracy. As Michael Black points out in a Twitter post, distinguishing between authoritative-sounding presentation and scientific validity can be difficult when generated by such models. In response to these challenges, our study investigates two potential solutions: disclaimer information that points out either the limitations or capabilities of chatbots, and the impact of communicative style as a mechanism that enable users to critically access the trustworthiness of the information provided by conversational agents. When examining the actual interface of popular LLMs such as Bing, ChatGPT, and BARD, it becomes apparent that distributors are aware of the potential for limitation and misinformation. Here we see how each platform has embedded disclaimers within their user interface. Take Bing, for example. It alerts users that AI responses might contain surprises or inaccuracies, encouraging fact-checking and feedback for improvement, and it even empowers users by offering choices in conversational style, ranging from more creative to more balanced and more precise. ChatGPT similarly advises users of its potential to err and suggests verifying crucial information. BARD also acknowledges its experimental nature and the possibility of inaccurate or inappropriate responses, while also inviting users to feedback to enhance its capabilities. As we see, these messages vary in visibility and emphasis, prompting the question: are these notices effective enough to guide user trust? These highlighted disclaimers set the stage for our research, in which we aim to understand whether such disclaimers indeed help in calibrating user trust appropriately, and how the tone of the chatbot's communication further affects this dynamic. Our study engaged a sample of 594 participants who were introduced to AI Chat, a simulated chatbot designed for the experiment. The landing page of AI Chat featured a prominent box with disclaimer information. Here, participants encountered one of two types of disclaimers. One group read about the chatbot's capabilities, emphasizing that AI Chat can remember what users said earlier in the conversation and allows users to provide follow-up corrections. Meanwhile, the other group was informed about the chatbot's limitations, noting that AI chat may occasionally generate incorrect information or produce harmful instructions or biased content. After acknowledging the disclaimer, participants initiated a demo conversation to AI chat. The chatbot's response varied in communicative style. One response was authoritative, whereas the other utilized a non-authoritative style containing words like might and could. Here we see a participant interacting with the interface. They select the demo and we see the conversation unfold. Throughout the study, we measured trust in AI chat as our main variable using Likert scales. After this first conversation, a second one followed, in which we captured the persuasive power of the chatbot. However, this is beyond the scope of this presentation, but it is comprehensively documented in our paper. The study was concluded with personality questionnaires and manipulation checks. Let's synthesize our key findings. Interestingly, our study revealed a notable disconnect. Despite the presence of disclaimers, nearly half of our participants did not recognize the prior information about the chatbot's limitation or capabilities in the manipulation check at the end of the study. We excluded those for further analysis. However, our regression revealed that the prior information had no effect on trust in the chatbot. When it came to the communicative style, our results were more clear. The manipulation worked, and the regression analysis indicated a significant main effect. Participants trusted the chatbot more when it communicated in an authoritative style. This effect was not moderated by personality traits like need for cognition or self-efficacy. In conclusion, our study shows that while trust in a conversational agent is affected by its communicative style, arguments or disclaimers presented did not affect users' trust significantly. As we reach the conclusion of our study, we see that the communicative style of a conversational agent is a decisive factor in establishing user trust. Our study indicates that an authoritative style instills more trust in users, regardless of the content of prior disclaimers. Despite the comparatively visible nature of our disclaimers, almost half of the participants did not recognize them. This is concerning, especially in settings where meaningful engagement is vital. This leads me to implications for the design of conversational AI. It suggests that developers should prioritize the development of a communicative style that aligns with the intended level of user trust and the context in which the AI operates. However, our study also highlights a crucial gap. The disclaimers, as they are currently presented, may not be sufficient. Users frequently overlook these disclaimers, which raises questions about how we can better design these systems to communicate their limitations and capabilities effectively, not only capturing attention, but ensuring comprehension. Indeed, this was an introductory study. We did not have measures of how long participants viewed the disclaimer page or their attentiveness to the message. Future research should delve into these aspects more deeply, potentially employing tools like eye tracking in more realistic settings. Moreover, the persuasive power of LLMs and how trust evolves in continuous interaction scenarios merits further exploration. In conclusion, our findings point to a design philosophy where less authoritative communicative styles and prominent, meaningful disclaimers lead to more calibrated levels of trust. This could be especially critical when users tend to overtrust the system, where employing uncertainty markers could be beneficial. As a closing remark, take a look at ChatGPT's interface changes from March 2023 to March 2024. Notice the disclaimer becoming even less prominent, which is at odds with our suggestion for making such information more visible to users. This highlights that the discussion about the design of conversational agents is far from over. Let's keep pushing for LLMs that are not only advanced, but also clear and trustworthy to ensure that users can trust and understand the tools they use. Thank you for your attention, and we look forward to receive your comments and questions.